And the Phase 4 took around 4 years to finish. So it's
well, we know it's a big project. We're certainly aware of that, but with everything there, and we understand it is structurally sound,
right.
Depending on who's really looking at it and everything. So it just makes so much sense. And of course, I think Senator Peters on a previous show had alluded to the fact about how far it is for Western Maryland folks to go. It's over a 2-hour drive.
Right.
So a lot of the veterans in Hagerstown and Washington County, they really don't want to go down there and be a resident because they know they won't have any visitors, and they don't, they won't. So it's to have one so far remotely out there from Western Maryland. Now, granted, it's not going to help Baltimore, Prince George's County, which has what, 70,000 veterans?
Almost 80,000.
Yeah, we have the largest number of any county.
So 480,000 veterans in Maryland, and only probably 25 or 30,000 between Frederick County and Washington County and what have you up there. So it's there's a lot of numbers to deal with. But anyway, we know that it needs to go to the Vision 5 folks, Mr. Garfunkel, and so there's a huge river to swim, and so but we are taking the steps and to see what we can do.
Speaking about a traveling, you figure that our furthest point up there in Laurel, which is Prince George's County, it's 50 miles to Charlotte Hall.
It is.
Because it's about right around 40 miles from Bowie, and Laurel's at least 10 or 12 miles from us, to the line. I'm just giving you and then if you come from the southern part of the state, not as far. But even the Eastern Shore, it's just like it's on the other side of the world. And even with as many veterans as we have in Prince George's County, just that distance, a lot of families thinks is too far. So I know what they feel like in Hagerstown. Well, look at the trip you made down here today. What, 85 miles?
Yes, sir.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. That's dedication, Fred.
Well, we
really
checked his
appreciate
passport, and he's certainly welcome.
Jerry, you have a lot of legislation that's going to be coming forward, and as the legislative chairman of a number of our organizations, how could Fred and the Veterans Commission might be able to help us?
Well, you're going to have to go with state planning and through the State Department of Veterans Affairs and get it put in line. That's the real problem. All these initial steps that Ray went through, they have to be done. They're sine qua non of any activity. You've got to find a site. You've got to find some funding, initial funding for evaluation, environmental impact statements, and all the things that it takes these days to build something. And Ray outlined how long it took in Charlotte Hall. And that wasn't a new building. That was a campus for the Charlotte Hall Military School. I mean, it was almost ready. Would think it would be almost ready to open, and look how long it took.
Right.
Oh.
And more current legislation, like we've talked before on this program about slots and retirement and so forth. Jerry, how would that help us as far as?
Well, obviously, exempting military pay. This remains the top of all the veterans organizations. This is right out there, right out front. This year, I don't think there'll be any tax cuts. Last year, the budget was largely balanced with stimulus funds. So this just postponed a crisis rather than solved one. So this year, it's going to be very, very tight. What we are proposing, which doesn't cost any money, is allowing the veterans and fraternal organizations on the Western Shore to have slot machines. There is no reason for being against that. We've established the principle that slot machines are okay. I mean, it went on the ballot. The people of Maryland said they want it. The opposition presumably is based upon that slot machines in the veterans' homes and the fraternal organizations on the Western Shore would take away from the state's efforts to get slot machines. But that's simply not factual. That's not true. We're dealing with a captive audience, the veterans community. We're not inviting the general public in. We're not fighting with Arundel Mills if they have one there. They're talking about it, and the one that Ocean Pines, which has already been approved, or anywhere else, And then this is life or death for the veterans post. It is incredibly important. As our membership grows older and our ability to raise funds diminishes, like you've noticed the golf tournaments, it's hard now to get 85-year-olds to go out and play golf. Well, the slot machine would solve a whole series of problems, and we're going to make a major effort in that. And I don't know what else this year will be. There'll be the usual bills to name this and do that, and highways and so forth, all of which we support.
Going one step further with what Jerry said, the slot machine bill on the Eastern Shore has been for 20 years. And they are buying fire trucks and supporting the fire departments and the EMTs, because 50% of the proceeds taken in by these veterans organizations, the Mooses, the Elks, all of the fraternal organizations who are authorized to have slots, they had to put 50% back into the community. Like I said, I was down at the Cambridge American Legion, about a month or so ago, and I haven't seen the 2008 figure, but the 2007 figure that I remember, they had given $218,000 just from that one post to their local fire department and their EMTs and some of the other food banks and such, and they really do a good thing. And like I said, you're not a member. We're not allowed to have people off the general public come in, because it's a violation not only of our bylaws, it's a violation of the county's laws that you can only have a certain amount of guests.
And it would threaten our tax exempt status. So we're very serious about it. 8 of the 9 counties on the Eastern Shore presently allow the veterans and fraternals to have them. The 9th is Worcester County, and traditionally Worcester County, and especially the Ocean City Chamber of Commerce and City Council, they've been against it. But having seen what it did in the other 8 counties, last year they had a local bill which should have passed. It passed the House fairly early, and it died on the last night of the session. And the last night is the night in Annapolis when the ghosts and goblins are out.
So right now what we're trying to do is get the Western Shore and Worcester County included in the original bill as an amendment. I mean, there don't have to be new legislation. It just have to be amended to add this.
Harford County had one. Cecil County, as you go up the Chesapeake and around, Cecil County is the northernmost county, the Eastern Shore. They have the slots. And Harford County, which abuts it, had a local bill in last year which didn't pass. And then we had a statewide bill sponsored by Delegate Michael Weir from Baltimore County. And the bill didn't get a vote in the Ways and Means Committee.
And then Senator Klausmeyer was really behind it.
Right, Senator Klausmeyer had a statewide bill in the Senate,
right.
and she's been a particular friend of veterans for some
She
time.
has, absolutely.
So
Well, it sounds to me like the next meeting that you're going to have is your quarterly meeting in December, and that's when you kind of lay out everything that's going on. And we're certainly going to be interested in finding out how that finally comes to fruition. And as Jerry has been alluding to, the veterans organizations are going to be pushing for as much as we can as far as those important issues that come before us now. And we want to thank everyone for watching Veterans Forum tonight, and our special guest, Fred Shinbur, who is the chairman of the Maryland's Veterans Commission. We hope you enjoyed the program and learned important information useful to you. Now we ask that you get involved with other Bowie veterans by actively participating in one or more of the Bowie veterans organizations. You'll see a list of them following this program. Call us, get involved. We need to know what your needs are so that we can help you and your family. Thanks again from all of us for watching Veterans Forum.